spring, and whether they expect to see more growth in the next 8 years.
All right. Thanks so much, Richard. Let's bring back in our company, Robert Costa, Randall Lane, Alicia Menendez back with us. Randall, the whole idea that a lot of people said when they supported this tax cut compromise is, yes, it's putting us further into debt, but it's going to stimulate the economy and jobs. If that happens, good news for President Obama.
Jobs is the only issue that matters economically in 2011, because you cannot have a recovery with that much productivity on the sidelines. So you can look at the stock market, you can look at consumer spending. None of it matters unless the unemployment rate goes down, and that's why I think both sides felt they had to do something, especially President Obama, because if unemployment stays at 9 or 10%, he has no chance of getting reelected. But more important, the economy has no chance of really getting kind of out of this 1-2% kind of sluggish growth. It's economically impossible.
Yeah, Robert, when you look at other things that have been done in this lame duck session, whether it's don't ask, don't tell, it looks now like the START treaty is going to go through. For particular people, perhaps those were key issues, but in the big picture going forward, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, is all that matters the unemployment rate?
That's really right, Chris. What we really have to look at is not give too much credit to this tax deal. The real question going forward is, how can President Obama create growth in this country? The tax deal only extended the Bush-era tax rates. Are we going to just have a service economy in this country, extension of health care jobs and those kind of growth in those sectors? The real question is, when it comes to technical skills and other jobs, will this country really be able to grow in this century?
Robert's comments sort of belie the reality, which is that business is growing in this country. It's been growing since President Obama took office. The real question is whether or not businesses in this country are going to feel confident enough to start reinvesting, to start employing. I agree, we do need to start looking at the way in which we re-educate our workforce, but to act as though there has not been growth across sectors isn't in fact true. What we haven't seen is a corollary between that and employment rates.
But that is the key point.
Exactly.
Government stimulus cannot create enough employment. There has to be business confidence. And the tax cut deal was probably most important, because will it give businesses enough confidence that they have some predictability that they'll hire?
Well, Robert, wasn't that the argument that Republicans were making, that you can't just do this for 1 year? You need to be able to say to businesses, especially small businesses, which we know fuel such a huge percentage of jobs in this country, that you have to be able to say to them, here's what you're working with over the next several years. So
that's so true. The question was ending certainty, but by only extending the tax rates for 2 years, we're going to have to relitigate this entire tax deal argument come 2012. So will certainty only be extended for 2 years? The real question is, how can this country create growth beyond just a 2-year tax deal? That's the challenge for both House Republicans and the president.
Alicia, is that a smirk?
The country is creating growth. You can keep repeating it as many times as you want.
But
Again,
not stimulus-type growth.
And the certainty, what? So I've seen multi-millionaires such as Garrett Gruner, the founder of Ask.com, come on this station and talk about the fact that a tax cut has never informed his decision whether or not to employ anyone. And you keep talking about small business owners. Most of these people are hedge fund managers. I think the fact that you continue on with this narrative is silly. What we need is big business in this country to feel as though they can make the type of investments that are going to get America back on track. And that has very little to do with a tax break for the wealthiest 1% of Americans.
Alicia, Robert, Randall, thanks to all of you.
Thank you.
Making a difference in America. Meet an amazing woman who is changing the world one dress at a time.